of the Nemesis. There was just they only built one Wingblade, and it was on Scary D, and that's because Scary D probably just wanted to run at them faster, not run away.
Well, the final game of the day, Luminosity versus Monkey Madness. Can the Monkeys make a split here against LG? Or will Luminosity run away with the 2-0? Game 1 kind of tells you I'd rather root for Luminosity right now with that objective control. Oof, that was nasty.
If Luminosity keep up the pressure on the objectives and Monkey Madness are unable to find the responses, this is 100% 2-0 to Lumi.
Fafnir, Susano, Osiris, and Terra. Bellona available for Scary D potentially here. When Bellona gets through, we generally see it picked early.
I love the Terra ban, though, by MM. They don't want to permit... I really think that was the largest issue for... It might not have seemed like it, because it's just like, well, what could Jeff really been doing? Is pressing forward really that big of a deal? And yes, because anybody that they tried to engage on and get their combo on, completely negated.
Athena first pick.
I'm not against it. Athena's fairly favorable, right? It could go anywhere, realistically. It could go into the solo lane. Fino K has showed that he's proficient at playing Guardians in that solo lane.
It's not terrible against Bellona, I guess, because the fact you can get the shield stacks to avoid some of the in-hand damage, I guess, it's not a big deal.
Well, you also pull the Bludgeon for free. If he tries, he can't really level the Bludgeon if it's Athena in the solo lane.
You're smart sometimes.
So, sometimes? Really?
Yeah, sometimes.
That kind of hurts.
Sorry, I was trying to give you a compliment. Jeez. Nemesis Capri for Luminosity. So a bit of a page out of Monkey's book from last game where we saw the Capri Nemesis drafted by them, but they've got a Bellona this time.
And I like the Bellona selection for Scary D, especially just because he was playing really aggressive in that solo lane matchup against Fino K already. And I'm certain he's going to be looking for the same thing. And now with the Nemesis and Capri in their side, I mean, you have a survivability factor. It's just... without the Terra being available, the whole team won't have that global presence speed buff.
Now with Nemesis and Capri, obviously we mentioned they're a bit more mid to late game focused targets here. Bellona's a lot more early game focused. She's great in lane against pretty much most matchups. Obviously Osiris a bit of a troublesome one for her potentially. Still a raw band away, so Luminosity well aware and Insta's prime gods are not available.
I actually like that Ra and Solo are banned away by Luminosity because with an Athena, it can be really easy to set up that all-in burst potential when you're spamming the taunts, but I'm iffy about the Nox. Do I think Anister can play this god very well? Yes, because Anister is incredibly talented, but I'm not certain that it provides that oomph to the draft that Monkey Madness might be lacking.
And what was the oomph you would have expected then instead of a Nox here? What would you have preferred in the mid lane if you had to say that?
Well, probably the Vulcan, but it's going to be taken away by Luminosity or even a Poseidon, possibly. Although it can be difficult for Poseidon to make work with the Bellona in your face all the time, so that's kind of understandable.
Well, that Nike is interchangeable between the support role and the solo, I guess, but I think we may see the Athena in the support role here. That's what it kind of takes a taste to me.
I feel as though Jigs will opt for the Athena in the support role, probably build a Sunder alongside of it. That's a large reason why Athena has been resurfacing so much lately, is because you have the Sunder into the taunt. It's really easy to activate. And a cheeky first blood sometimes.
Well, high execution come from Monkey Madness coming out here, and the Monkeys are pretty strong overall when you think about their execution abilities with the mechanics. But Homie FA, playing Kamazots, high skill cap in terms of you have to land these abilities that aren't that easy to connect all the time. And the same can be said for the Andinsta playing Nox.
Just look at Baskin, dancing away. He's feeling it. He's feeling it. I would be feeling it too, though, if I was...
Yeah, sure. It wasn't all doom and gloom for them. Just keep an eye on where the solo lanes go this time. It looks like Scary D wants to give a bit of a revenge for what the Monkeys did last game. Hey, Andinsta, how about that one? Can we learn to ward? Can we just like ward or just like check the angles?
Wasn't that the exact same direction?
Yeah, no, it was a reverse angle.
It was the reverse angle, that's what it was.
But still, man, like that's just like, you did it last game, we'll do it this game. The bad news is once again, it's Mask. The Nemesis once again gets first blood for free. And you put a Nox down, which is an awkward thing to have happen to a Nox.
That's a very awkward thing to have happen to a Nox, because Nox struggles enough as is. So it's going to be a fun ride for Andy in that mid lane.
Red buff and purple buff taken by Luminosity and Monkey Madness on their respective sides. Surprisingly enough, I didn't expect to see it was Medusa and Jeff Henler that would clear their buffs ahead of a Ho Yi and an Athena.
I kind of expected that.
Really?
Even though they had the
ricochet,
favorable
though,
clear.
man.
It's a favorable clear for the purple buff, not necessarily for the red.
Okay.
More consistent damage spread for Luminosity than MM.
Well, they're going to also get the Oracles here, Luminosity, just to continue their extent, and the Elementals on the right-hand side. So early on, you can see where the experience lead is about to come through. Specifically when you can see the speed and blue buff are available for Luminosity to take their own jungle because they've stolen away Monkey's side of the jungle.
And Scary D just bopping Final Kill and arguing with that bludgeon.
Yeah, those hurt so much. And it's still level 2, though, trying to catch up a little bit more. Needs all the farm he can get. Did take an extra point. Obviously, his point is 3, first of all, before his root. So he's all about just surviving right now in these early stages.
And basking with that massive heal. Credit to the Boomba's mask. It's always fun.
Jeff going to get a bit of poke up against Jigs here, and it is Jigs playing that Athena. So he's looking for those ultimates to make a global impact, potentially, and be able to be everywhere and anywhere at the same time.
A global impact, I think it would also help greatly as far as disengaging and re-engaging onto the objective control that Luminosity has so firmly established.
It's also beads burners, I guess, is the biggest thing you're looking for here. When you've got a Nox on the team and you've got an Athena, Athena's there to force the taunts, and then Nox can get a full combo off in the next taunt combo if it's available.
Could be really strong against a Nemesis, but right now, Jeff Hinla and Barracuda looking to go on the offensive. Barra just off the mark with the dash.
I don't know if it was off the mark or was he trying to rope-a-dope and punish Vetium instead?
He was trying to grab Jigs with that one.
Oh, okay.
He was definitely trying to grab Jigs with that one because it would have canceled out of the charge.
Oh, Homie's in trouble in mid lane, has to leap under the tower. The Volcano's in beautiful position from Baskin. After the leap is down, the body's down, and 2-0 the way of Luminosity early on.
That's the wombo combo that MM wanted last game, except with the Scylla.
But it just didn't work out at the same time.
It just did not work out.
Unfortunate enough. Interestingly, talk to me a little bit about what you think about Aninster's build here. He went for Sands of Time, so he's got cooldown reduction a little bit more and the mana regeneration there. But then he went for the tier 1 of the Spear. We don't often see that too much these days. It's normally sustain.
It's normally a sustain of some form. I'm sure that Andy has a game plan behind this one. I think that he was trying to make up for the lack of damage that he's going to be experiencing due to being deprived of gold.
And get some earlier penetration on maybe.
And yeah, a little bit of early penetration never hurts.
Okay.
It's just, it is kind of risky though, considering it slows down the boots rush.
And I actually think that first blood death onto him hurts him more because of going this build. Because if he went for potentially Lost Artifact, for example, it would give him some mana regeneration, a bit more power. If he would have gone for Tiny Trinket, he would have some lifesteal to continue to sustain up. But now he's just in an awkward position. Now he's out of mana here on this right-hand side. And you can see the speed buff was secured by Homie FA in time, but now Homie's coming back mid, and I don't think he realizes Mask is right behind him. Backfire hits Homie, and he continues to go aggressive. Now Mask turns up too. Silence down from Anderson, though, will slow down the advance of Luminosity for a second, but Homie FA is still in trouble in that mid lane, and he's forced to ult away defensively.
Thank goodness he just hit level 5 not too long ago, because that would have been a definite rundown. You have Jeff with the Kepri res just in case they wanted to pursue that kill, so Homie just gonna barely get out.
Yeah, just for the time being, as Barracuda continues to farm up the left-hand side.
But look
here.
at that Cold
Mask
Fury.
now rotating round to the right-hand side, looking for the all-in play on Fine OK. The Athena will coming out from Jigs as well, and he's already dead before Jigs can get the ultimate off. Meanwhile, Luminosity will get the Oracles, now get the blue buff on the right-hand side too. They didn't get the speed early on, as we mentioned, but Luminosity got a real lead already.
Luminosity are looking like a completely revitalized squad.
This is against Monkey Madness too, and I think that's the reason we're saying this, is because Monkey Madness are seen as a top team. You saw how the team fights went, how close they were, but Luminosity are making very, very few mistakes.
And it's entirely different as compared to what we've seen from them in the past, where Luminosity has never been a team, you know, known for making mistakes or anything like that, but there have been questionable circumstances, and I think that they've really cleaned things up. Kind of similar to what we've seen from ALG so far this season.
It's a very good point. Some of the NA teams realize they have to step it up this year, going up against Europe, especially after looking at Worlds, and not just Worlds, I guess. You can then look towards what happened at Masters too. And with Valencia and soon on the docket for all these teams to be going to, or at least attempting to go to, the EU powerhouses are still waiting in the wings. In North America, they want that title back again, you know? They had it for Season 1. They've not had it since.
Luminosity and Allegiance potentially trying to lift the curse Polar Bear Mike placed upon all of NA from the line a while back.
Pretty much. It's all PBM's fault. It had to be. 3-0 so far, though, the way of Luminosity. The Golden Experience leads about 3,000 advantage. I should say that 2, I should say. Got a bit too excited for myself. 2,000 gold lead for Luminosity. 4,000 experience, though. And that experience matters because it's on the roles that really want the bonus levels.
I do like how Vidium's trying to stalemate this lane, though, for Luminosity. The ward picking up Jeff. So no problem disengaging right there.
Yeah, not for the time being anyway. Barracuda at level 8. So is Vetium, though, so doing a good job of farming. Big gold and experience difference, I guess. We can be sad is Scary D up against Fine OK. Scary D being able to strip the jungle a little bit more from Fine OK, and also find that kill has given him a bit of a bolstered lead, which means this potential breastplate of Valor is on land. Here we go again with Luminosity.
They're out of position. I'm not sure they're going to be able to respond to this in time. And now it's Anderson who's actually about to get punished for trying to poke his head in. Vetium next on the list. Mask is trying to run him down, gets a slow onto him, but it's just going to back off for now.
Rest in pepperonis. That was a good play from Luminosity because they knew the speed buff was coming up of Monkeys, and Monkeys waited to defend it again.
They still get it.
Realizing there were so many people on that right-hand side, they decided to go for gold, get a pick, get it again for free because Monkeys aren't there to defend.
There was actually nothing that Anderson could do. He didn't even go that far out of position.
This is
he was
really
just
impressive.
Immediately abducted.
I'll say this is really impressive from Luminosity right now. This is probably cleaner than some of the European teams I've seen so far this split as well. Some of the top teams from last year from Worlds don't look as clean as Luminosity do in this set.
I can agree with that entirely. And
it's crazy.
Scary D actually with a 2-level lead over Fine OK.
Yeah, and that's, like we said, that was down to the buffs invades a little bit earlier on. It's just been able to continue on. The bad news for the Monkeys, though, is that they've got to get hold of this control of the Gold Furies soon, because as soon as the Portal Demon spawns, you saw what happened last game. They continue to just pressure over and over again, and Scary D's going to get another blue buff stripped away from Fine OK.
I think it's kind of the same issue that MM had last game, though. Their team was mostly single target burst, and you've got the Kamazots with the Nox. I'm just not seeing too much synergy between those two gods. It's more of like a chase down factor with the Kama than anything else.
On the right-hand side, Scary D getting ganked by Amnesty, but avoids all the damage and instead returns some back to him. Also knowing that Jeff Hindler is following behind could help him out in that tricky situation. One thing I've just noticed though, Taco, Transcendence after Boots and Bluestone on Barracuda. How are we feeling about that? Because we've not seen Transcendence for a little while.
I like it. For a Medusa, you can never go wrong with Transcendence.
And why is it so good on Medusa specifically?
She's an ability-based hunter, so it's just a massive power spike. And it looks like he's trying to use that on Vetium. Even at T2, it's still a fairly strong item for Medusa to pick up. And while the only concern that Bear is really going to have is, since Vetium's opting for the Ickfall build, he needs to be careful with the 1v1 boxing. If he misses his abilities, Vetium could very easily catch the ricochet stun onto him and just in-hand him for free damage.
Well, still, Monkey's just hanging on in this game right now, trying to let Amnens to catch up essentially in the mid lane now. Homie FA goes in, and instead of getting in trouble, he's in trouble himself, I should say. Jix was there to support, but Homie's still nearly dead. Baskin jukes out the abilities again, and the ultimate, if that connects, Homie would have died, but no, it just off the mark, as was the backfire. Interesting play from Homie to get so aggressive there.
That speed buff saved his life for the few couple of seconds that he had it left on him, but I can't say the same for the tower in mid lane, and now it's actually going to be Mash trying to engage onto Vetium.
Vetium forced out, tier 1 tower being completely brute forced by Luminosity and that engagement that happened in the mid lane. Still Fine OK now rotates in, but he can't stop a 5-man army taking a tier 1 tower. Luminosity get the tier 1 tower, and what do they all do? Back to base, boys. Let's go spend that nice hard-earned cash.
Not before Mass takes his wave, though.
Of course, it's a jungler that's always doing that. He's lane taxing again. Barry's like, why would you do that? I wanted that wave. That wave was mine. Rough.
That's the life of an ADC.
What, having waves stolen?
Realistically, all the time.
Really?
Really.
No.
If you're not there, that wave is no longer yours.
Okay, well, stay in lane then.
You can't just stay in lane.
Why not?
Because you have to rotate.
Why'd you have to rotate?
So you can make the plays.
Just to be clear, Barry's done nothing in this game. No offense, Barry. Barry's done nothing in this game. He could just stay in lane all day. Mask and the rest of the crew have got this handled.
His 1800 damage disagrees with you.
1800. Oh.
It's intimidating.
It is. I guess when you actually look at the player damage coming out from the monkeys right now, it looks pretty good. But that's what I was saying about the monkeys. Hang on, another objective there. Wait, no way. That can't be possible. Luminosity, get it. Jeff's in trouble, but he dashes away just in time back to the safety of his team. Homie FA still tuning out against Mask and Scary D. Forced to the sky again defensively. And that's going to be a reset one more time from Luminosity. But Barra comes through the pole and hits a big old Petrify.
And that's the threat that you have with this Portal Demon. You can't afford to take up these fights. Mask able to run down Anister, and as soon as he pops out, and now Vedium's next on the list. He can't trade.
Vedium got baited pretty hard by Master with the shield that gave him more damage than he took, and he sustained back up 6-0 to Luminosity here. This is crazy. And I said this in Picks and Bans, Taco. When you've got Camazotz and a Nox on the team, it's high mechanics required. You've got to hit every ability, otherwise you're going to struggle. And right now, that's where I think the struggle is Anister's not hitting anything.
They're strong mechanical players, but I agree. This is probably one of the lower performances we've seen from Anister. And while he is still an excellent player by all means, probably made the best transition, the earliest out of everybody who swapped over.
Definitely.
If he's struggling on Nox, that just shows you that Luminosity is doing everything right.
And now the rest of the monkeys are trying to just rotate around the map and pick up some farm. That's why you can even see now Homie FA's on this right-hand side trying to farm up. Because I don't think Homie FA's been playing too crazy. I just think he's been aggressive that he needs to be still.
And Gold Fury spawning.
And where is everybody else?
That's free.
Hello, monkeys.
There's no way anybody from MM gets there in time. Vedium has to have the most godlike ultimate Ricochet of 2017, and there's nothing.
Nothing again. And this is just the story of game 1 into game 2. This has just been a slow, methodical play from Luminosity of like, hey, Gold Fury's up, no one's here, let's take it. Hey, Portal Demon's up, no one's here, let's take it. Hey, Gold Fury's up again, let's take it. Hey, the game's already over.
I just love the drafting by Luminosity. Really.
Is it the drafting that's coming down to, do you reckon? Or is it actually just
drafting and teamwork?
Fine, okay. In trouble here. Already ults, waiting for Jigs to come down. But I don't think Jigs wants to be here too. And this is coming in, and I like that little combo out of them. It puts Scary D in an awkward spot, but now with Jeff here, it's actually Andinster on the run, but he's not got his escape available because he used it to teleport in with Jigs. Monkeys tried to show some of the benefits of the combination of using the Nox, but instead, they just gave Andinster a 4th trip back to base.
That is a really unfortunate circumstance for Andy. You think that you're going to have the bamboozle factor.
And it was a good bamboozle.
But it was not good luck for MM. And poor Andy just completely turned on.
This is a problem now, Tag. What do you do at this point when you're 7-0? And it's not... Normally you can look at 7 and go, listen, there's still a chance for him, but it's 7,000 gold in less than 14 minutes. That's a 500 gold lead per minute that is coming out from Luminosity so far.
You hope that at least 3 of their PCs happen to blow up or they disconnect.
High-res servers, that's what you're hoping for, right? I guess that's the case. The match was reset due to... And you're just hoping for a reset of the match. That's it. Was it doing rank tier all the time?
It just closes out. But they get 150 favor.
Hey, it's going to be more than what they get in terms of points this game if the way this continues on. Monkeys are really in a bad shape right now. And Luminosity are just not seeming to let up. They're starting to swing around the whole map, just looking as a group now to potentially pick targets because the tier 1's down in mid. Andins is pretty much so far dead in this game. He's not going to be able to make much more of an impact unless it gets really late. And I guess that's why they were paying their attention to the left-hand side of the map a little bit more now.
MM just not looking very solid this game.
Not particularly. I'm not sure what it is with them, but it's just not the same sort of play we've seen out of him so far. Jigs could look for a taunt here, but with his team in a bit of a deficit, maybe not. And the lead Baskin has over Adinster is a 3-level lead now, which means those meatballs and backfires are going to cause some problems. Once again, Mass doing well to keep Homie FA busy is now fine okay, forced to come in here. But look at how far forward Luminosity is now. They're not scared of this fight.
They're not scared at all, and in fact, Scary D wants more of it, jumping immediately onto Andinster in the back line, forced to back off just for a second due to the silence, but...
Oh, they're all going to die.
No.
Final Case forced to ult defensively. Andinster and Homie FA are running for their lives, and now Final Case shoved under a tier 2 tower on his own with a couple of minions here. It won't take long for Luminosity to take a tier 2 in the mid lane. There's a nice revive coming out from Jeff to make sure Baskin stays alive, but I think Baskin should fall to Homie FA here if he times it right. No, the Aegis straight afterwards, and the escape is on. Vetium wants to go in to commit for the kill. Jigs gets credit for it, but Barracuda will take out Vetium. At least the monkey's got a kill.
I mean, he asserted some dominance for a second.
I think it was reach as well. I actually think it was a reach.
It was the Athena reach
by
that
Jigs that got a kill.
That. So it's put them on the board at the very least, and although it cost them a T2 tower, realistically speaking, they might as well just go on to Baskin.
So if you look back at game 1, Monkey Madness, I think the issue there was probably Homie FA's rotation in mid on the Nemesis hurt him at the start, and then he never really found a footing after that. They had no real engage potential, and it felt like Luminosity just controlled the objectives. Game 2, we look at mid lane again, and I think Scary D's ganking the mid lane onto Adinster, and Adinster's build, a little bit of his build, not a lot of his build, comes into play with this one too, and it puts Adinster at such a deficit early on that they have trouble trying to climb back into it because the mid lane is so far behind. It makes Homie behind too.
It's different when a mid laner dies in comparison to a jungler. Sure, Mask is going to be behind, but it's only temporary because as long as he has his team to back him up, which they did in game number 1, it caught him up.
Objectives.
Same story isn't said here.
Once again, Paul Demon pulled by Luminosity and goes the way. Monkey Madness will get a nice sound that they lost some more gold for free in this map. And they may get a sound very soon of the Fire Giant falling. 60-minute Fire Giant, and Monkeys are not even rotating.
It's like a well-oiled machine watching Luminosity at work right now.
It is, and it's not a well-done machine from Monkey Madness so far. The Vulcan Ultimate did not hit, but it forced Monkeys back. Scary D and Mask running at them alone. Homie FA takes to the sky eventually, but Homie's going to try and distract at least 1 or 2 members. He's got Barry's attention now with not many escape abilities left. Medusa looking for the Petrify to slow him down, but a great blink out of Homie buys time for the team. Still though, Baskin on the front side going to allow Scary D and Mask to pick up the kill onto Betium. Vino K leaps in place, and then he leaps back to base, not by choice.
And now Andy's just
Go on,
saying
Andy.
not again.
Be a hero, Andy. Andy can get a penta here. I can feel it. I can feel it. You ready? Go, Andy. Go, Andy. Go. Go. Get that 50 gold. He should have killed the ward. 50 gold, Andy. You need that gold, Andy.
Scary won't even let him have that.
Come on, run. Juke him out. Juke him out.
There's
Wow.
just the chase of a
This is
lifetime.
more entertaining than watching Monkeys play this set. That's what I'm going to say right now.
It gave it the good old-fashioned college try.
It was a closer college try than Monkeys have done this set, it feels like, too, if I'm being brutally honest. A second goal Fury goes to Luminosity earlier on. Third one is now available too, and Luminosity are already in position to start that one up. Portal Demon's down, so they don't have to worry about too much about that. Fire Giant is still available, but Luminosity could just go back to it again in a second if they want to anyway.
I like the call to just take the gold Fury. The more that they deprive MM of gold, the less likely MM is going to be able to come back into this game. Although that opportunity is pretty much all but gone already.
That's the problem I see, is that there's just no comeback. Look, from right at the start of the game, just look at the graph. He's just consistently gone in the favor of Luminosity, and every single goal for you, every single Portal Demon, over and over again.
It's just risk first reward, and unfortunately the risk was too great this time for MM with the Nox, Athena, Camazot's combination.
Do you reckon a Fire Giant now for Luminosity?
They can do whatever they want.
I mean, to be fair, I think they dropped the Fire Giant last time, thinking that they were going to get some contest out of Monkeys. I think they could have just taken the Fire Giant, because Monkeys weren't really in a position to stop.
They could have very easily stayed on that. They all ran away. As soon as Scary D, Roma Invicted into MM, they were all running away.
Well, Fire Giant pulled. Let's have a look at where the Monkeys are on the map. Mid lane. And left lane. Fire Giant is going to fall down any minute right now, and it's being dealt with by Scary D, who's on zone duty. He didn't have much to zone as the Eagles rise. It catches the 3 out of Adinster 2. And at level 19, there's not a whole lot the Monkeys can do against that Bologna coming out of the solo lane. The rest of Luminosity, though, going to head around to the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side.
For a second there, I thought that Scary D was just going to try and run Andy down again, try and give him his 6th death of the game, but...
Oh, they're going to get a tower! Some global gold for Monkey Madness.
There's really nothing else left for Vetium to do in this circumstance.
They got some gold. They got some objectives.
Solid 500 gold.
It's a good start. Phoenix on the right-hand side being sieged down. Monkeys waiting patiently for the taunt for Jigs to come out. Leaping fan okay, just a little bit too late off the mark. His shield won't last too long against a fed team like Luminosity. Is he going to do it? No! Baskin misses. He was looking for the highlight reel play, especially being level 15. He could have potentially found a kill down to the weaker targets. Vetium gets a tier 2 tower. Luminosity get a Phoenix in mid.
I don't think that they're that far behind to where the ultimate from Baskin would have killed them.
I think Andy could have died. Andy could have died.
I don't know. He's level 13, and I don't think that Baskin had the damage fully available. Maybe with like a Soul Reaver thrown in at some point, it could be possible, but I think Fire Giant Vulcan with Ethereal Staff wasn't just enough.
I do like Baskin's Vulcan, and we've not seen too much of this, but he looks really solid on it. I like the potential we could see our Baskin play Vulcan in the future. He has a lot of skill with it from what I can tell. He's using the passive well. The combinations have been pretty good at the angles of the backfire and knowing your range. Scary D picks up Adinster. In they go for Scary D, but don't forget there's still a Capri if it's required, but it won't be this game.
Oh, no.
And that's the game. Surrender vote comes out finally from Monkey Madness, 14-1.